Happy new month to all of you out there. I have good news for you rather. This is Universal Sister Anne, and I'm happy to be here with you on the very first day of December 2024. What a great thing the Lord has done. So let us see this new day. Happy new month to you. Happy Advent to you. Advent is a time of waiting, a time of expectation, the very main time in which we prepare for that season or those celebrations known to be of Christmas. Christmas. Yes, friends. I was saying in the description, the celebration you know as Christmas has processes or protocols to be followed. We are not yet in Christmas. Yes. Yeah, Advent. The Catholic Church has different seasons in its calendar for the year. As a matter of fact, today the church's calendar begin proper. So we have three what do we call it, years in the church's calendar, which is year A, year B, and year C. We are in year B, and year B just began today, the 1st of December, the first Sunday in December, the first Sunday in the season of Advent. So throughout these 4 weeks, we have to prepare for Christmas. When you go to a Catholic church, you'll notice that the priests wear purple, you know, violet, and so on. So that's the color for this wonderful season. Yeah. I was thinking a while ago, it's beautiful that Christians in the Catholic Church begin a new year today, right? So for the Catholic Church, it's a new year we have begun. Hi, Brie, Adara. A new year that is preempting the new year we are expecting officially in the world. Hi, 2025. Good morning, Nishanta. It's still evening for me. Greetings to all of you. For those who stay, I beg you to, if you have to leave, I want to use this opportunity to welcome you to my channel. Good to make your acquaintance. Please check me up, subscribe to my page. You can also find me on Facebook, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Universal Sister Anne utilizes her gifts and talent to share with people all over the world. And it's a pleasure to have you guys join me. So I was talking about Advent. So all over the world, people are already talking Christmas, Christmas, what to do, what not to do. It's too early in the estimation of the Catholic Church, or just, we still have like 25 days to the main day. But you already have people decorating, different sorts, shopping already, thinking of what to do. Those are not the most important things we should be about, especially for Catholic Christians. And many times Catholics join in that chorus, but what they hear in church is totally different. I'm not just going to dwell on churchy things. Even if you're not a Christian or whatever, Advent is an English word. Advent, you've heard of adventitious birds. When you plant trees and you notice some small stuffs busting out around the trees or plants. So that is how it is with Advent. So New Year is around the corner, 2025. It is now we should begin to look out for those tiny bursts of newness in our lives. Don't let anything happening around you from this very first day of December 2024 pass by without you noticing something about it. Happy new month to you too. So when a new thing comes around, we all have hopes and expectations, right? So that's what I want to draw our attention to. Let us remain hopeful, looking out for the light that will shine forth in our lives and move us to the places that life wants us to be at or to be rooted at. People make New Year resolutions, right? You don't begin to make a New Year resolution on the very first day of the year. You know, people say from the 1st of January is when, oh, I begin to make. No, this is part of the whole Advent thing I'm trying to describe. You already know what it's been like for you in this past 11 months. You also know what you are expecting in these 11 months that hasn't materialized or may have materialized. What next? If it didn't materialize, that means you're still hoping and expecting something, which is where we are at. Advent. We are at Advent, whether you're a Christian, Advent is an English word. Expectation, hope. If you even have achieved the things you set your mind to do this 2024, how do you want to step them down? So, in all ramifications, Advent has something to say to us, you know. But more especially, I just want to draw attention to the fact that we should dwell more on the important details about life. Life is not about food, it's not about drink, it's not about the clothes we wear, even though those things are necessary for life. But you find out that we are more prone to put our hearts on things that are not the main things we should set our hearts on. We should set our hearts more on growing and developing as human beings. Growth, not necessarily physical, your bone growing and some cells and tissues. We mean on what we can see. Growth does not also necessarily come from having education or being through tertiary studies. Growth is not about speaking good English. Growth is not necessarily about the way you dress or the things you do as a person. Growth is that ingrained thing, the humanness in you is what growth means, really. You know, humanity. Do you have that humaneness in you or not? When you meet a fellow human being, what do you say or think about them? How do you see human beings, first of all? Do you look down on people and think that you're better than them? That's not the way people who are in expectation behave. And something to be aware of, learning or growth or things like that never stop until we are stopped saying there will be no more life or anything. So I encourage all of us to keep learning, growing, and being more humane. You know, that aside, advent, processes, and ways. We are not yet in Christmas. Christmas is on the 25th. We still have about 25 days to go. So, what we should really set our hearts on at this time is following the detailed processes that lead to Christmas. It's not yet Christmas. First of all, we need to embrace one very special aspect of this process or protocol that we are into this Advent season, time of expectation. Spiritually, we ought to grow or imbibe spiritual benefits that can equip us for that season. Because many times you find out that this whole Christmas celebration for many is just about them, their families, and friends. People don't remember the poor. But that's one special event that took place around when Jesus was born. The story tells us that he was born in a manger. They went for the census on a long walk, and Mary was due to give birth. They couldn't find a single room in all the inns. Finally, they had to give birth to their firstborn child in a manger. Do you know what a manger is? Where animals live. You know, horses, different kinds of animals. That's where someone's child was born. And then lots of people came to visit the child. I hope you're following this whole story. We're trying to bring to the fore the issue of poverty, the issue of neglect of certain groups of people because we don't see them as fit human beings. You know, the issue of migration, which is a major one, immigration stuff and things like that. Prevent other people from coming in. And we wonder, Sri Lanka. Send me a visa for Sri Lanka, Nishtanta, and I'll come to Sri Lanka. I love to travel. Anyways, yeah, immigration issue is a major one. This family traveling, moving. Yes, so these are the things in this season that you are all clamoring for. It will be expected that people key into those features and that story they are already celebrating when it's not yet time. It's still 25 days, but there are already decorations. Some people don't even remove their Christmas decoration year in, year out. The sales are up right after Thanksgiving. It was just Black Friday yesterday or 2 days ago. People are still shopping all over the US. Shopping, 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 shopping. And they will continue, some will continue shopping till the end of December, and they will find themselves still shopping the very first day of January 2025. That is not the way to go, friends, at all. So that's why this Advent season, this time of expectation, is very important, no matter who you may be. It doesn't matter what religion you belong to. Advent is an English word. Expectation time, looking forward to, hopeful time. After all, it's the end of the year. So we should become hopeful for 2025. Looking out, expecting good things. If you expect good things in 1 month's time, is it not right that you begin working towards those good times from this very first day of December? Someone who doesn't plan works to not reap what they are sowing. Planning, planning, planning all the way throughout the course of life is very important. And that is what Advent helps us accomplish. Advent, you know. So, friends, it's important that we bring our minds, bring our thoughts, our meditations, our contemplations, everything that occupies our minds as persons, bring them to the fore, sieve them, looking for the most important details that have mattered this past 11 months. Draw the lessons from this past 11 months and pick out the three best benefits that have impacted your life. And these are the benefits you will now put into whatever you do in the coming year. So you see how Advent draws, calls, and prepares us. Advent is a time of preparation to live better lives, to work well, to relate well with people, to focus on the future, you know, future goals. Advent, when we expect a son from God. Advent. Many beautiful Christian songs follow this season. The coming of our God, we expect you. Our hearts are longing. Maranatha, and so on and so forth. So let these positive words guide us all along these days of Advent. Advent is really important. So we have Advent that leads to Christmas. We have Lent, which leads to Easter, you know. And these are wonderful times in which God invites us. The church also, in its wisdom, began a new year today, the 1st of December, the first Sunday of Advent, ye be in the church's calendar. In the spirit of all that is good, the Spirit of God, the church is guided by the wisdom of the Holy Spirit to prepare us ahead for next year. But here we are, we are already beginning a new year. This 1 month should be the time in which we should be trying to reap all we have sown in the course of this year. Okay? If you sow and you do not reap, is that a good thing? No. So it's good to sow well that your harvest may be rich and bountiful. Hence, God expects us to live lives that are rich in blessing, in goodness, in virtue. You know, these are the expectations, the things we should work towards, each time the end of the year draws near and there is hope for the beginning of another year. 1 month to go in 2024. What have you achieved thus far? What were your hopes and aspirations? You still have 1 month to work towards them. Even if you don't achieve them this year, you see what I was saying? You draw what you have now and take it into the new year and continue pushing, working. And definitely, you must realize what you set your heart to because you have fully planned and set things in motion. Hence, the best possible outcome must be positive. Yeah, it has to be positive. Okay, so keep at what you're doing. I want to encourage everyone to be hardworking, to persevere, to be hopeful, to not give up no matter your situation, because there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Scriptures tell us in this season to remain watchful, to be vigilant, to stand ready because we do not know what will come next. Keep doing the good you have been doing, or improve to start doing the good that you need to be doing. Our God is a God of justice, Jeremiah tells us, because God is promising to renew everything in our lives. And Jesus reminds us that these are the last days. Always scriptures towards the end of the year and in the church, we begin to read stories about the end time, end of life, end of whatever cycle, expecting the new things to come, So, all in all, Advent is very important. Advent is important. Let's not live our lives just anyhow, not having hopes or aspirations for things we want to be. Grow. We don't need to be stagnant. Keep moving, keep pushing until something happens. And definitely something will happen. Your case will never be different from other people's. If you do the things that others have been doing, you know, Advent, Advent, Advent. A time of preparation, a time of looking forth. Joseph and Mary worked towards the expectation of their newborn son. Even in the midst of their own preparation for their firstborn child, they did not decline the invitation to go for the census. You know, this should also draw our attention to the fact that we must be proactive, we must be good citizens of the countries we come from. When the government invites us to partake of things, we have to put in our quota, be part of the functioning of your country, of your community, or wherever you find yourself. Always make an input, no matter how small, because eventually, if things go well, you will be happy that you contributed. Even if things do not work out in the very beginning, you are hopeful that you are working towards something. So, the story of Jesus, his birth, and everything that surrounds him are wonderful stories of life that we can learn from. Read the stories in scripture, on social media, or wherever you can find these stories. That's one best way to really know the season we are getting into. If we're really keyed into really knowing Jesus' story, then we will know when to really start the preparation for Christmas, or more importantly, know what this celebration entails. It doesn't entail what we are about doing at the moment, because more issues will arise the more people hasten to do what they are usually prone to doing at this time of the year. Advent is a time to take stock, a time to pause and relive all we have done in the past year. Stock taking time, if you will, is what Advent is. Drawing close to God, the things of God. In fact, it is said that Jesus is the reason for the season. So if you're not ready to be in tune with this Jesus, who are you preparing for? You need to ask yourself that question. If you don't believe in Jesus, you don't believe in the works of God, you don't believe in goodness thriving in society, what are you preparing for Christmas for? How can you be part of um, pilgrims who don't even know where the pilgrimage begins nor where the pilgrimage will end? And well, as I was saying, Nigerian pidgin, how do you just in a celebration, the band of such a celebration, when you hardly know what the celebration is about? It's a beautiful thing that even non-Christians partake of Christmas in a society like America or in Europe, which means that many people already know the story of love that Jesus came for. So the reason for the season is Jesus. The season is a season of love. Are you ready to toe the path of love? People are beginning to say that love is not essential. It is not everything in this life. I want to ask, if love is not essential and it's nothing, It has nothing to offer this age. What then is love? It's because we've lost touch of the true meaning of love. We are now justifying the fact that love is of no avail, whereas love is everything. And love is also what Advent invites us to. Love and care for one another. Forget what may have happened. Forget what is happening. To be human is to be a person of love. If you have not yet found that space for love, then you need to embrace the season of Advent where we invite you to come and feel that love of God. The story of Christmas is about love. God leaving God's abode to come and share with us human beings. Are we living in love? Are we prepared to live in love? Or we just want to celebrate love, which is Christmas? So, Advent is a time we are trying to draw our minds to the important things like love, like service, like stewardship, like care, you know, friends. It's easy to love. Love is not so difficult after all. If you want to love, you can love. I invite all of you specially to key into the season of Advent, a solemn, calm, reflective period or season. Let us rest this season that draws us to the close of 2024. The work you should have done, you have done. Even if you may not have done so much, relax. Take stock of what has been, and that can lead you to what will be. You know that song, Que sera, sera. Oh, Sarah, Sarah, whatever will be, will be. The future might have to say, Que sera, Sarah. Oh, Sarah, Sarah, whatever will be, will be. Sarah, Sarah, oh, Sarah. Da, 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 da. You know the song. Whatever will be, will be. These are words of peace. Whatever will be, will be. That is what Advent draws our minds to. Let us pause during these few days before the end of 2024. Pause, calculate, take stock. Stock taking is not only in business, it weighs with a heavy force also in the human life. Take stock of your life and see how come or how far you have come with love. Very important thing to do. We have just 29 days or 30 days to go. Take stock each day in the morning, afternoon, or evening. Sit down and say to yourself, how has it been? Self. Self. Do you take time to talk to yourself? Self. How has it been? You will see what will happen at the end of these 31 days of December. And therefore, you now have something to live for in 2025. Draw from the going year into the new year is what Advent tells us. We shall have a Savior born. who came to love us, give his life as a ransom. Are you ready to give your life as a ransom? Is one of the lessons of Advent. Are you ready to give your all to better other people, or you only want to sit back and enjoy the benefits of others? Life is give and take. What have you given? We have been taken. I have been taken. What am I ready to give in return? Is what Advent finally says. Jesus was ready to give his life, so he left his heavenly abode and came. And I asked myself, what are you ready to give in return? That's my question. I ask you, viewer, what are you ready to give in return for the love you have received? You can't say you have never received love because life has not been too good. All of us, the least no less than the greatest, have been touched by God's love. Go forth in this season of Advent, dear friend, and recount the benefits of love from God and fellow human beings around you. Dwell on the love. Forget any other negativity, and you will see how you will grow. Happy Sunday, happy new month, happy new week, happy new season. May God keep us until I come your way same time, soon, soon, soon. You've been hearing the voice of Universal Sister Anne of God. Please do check out my other videos, posts, and all that. Subscribe to my channel, and you'll be happy you did. Take care. Love you. Ciao, ciao.